I've noticed women are more averse to meeting in person. It seems mostly online now. Have you noticed a similar thing? Yeah, so the numbers don't lie. More and more people are choosing to meet online than they are in person. I don't know the exact stats right now, but it was 7-10 years ago, it was 75-25 people meeting in person more often than not. Then eventually it got to 65-35, 60-40. And as far as I know, right around now, it's about 50-50 or starting to even skew more towards online. And I think that's only going to grow in the next couple of years. There's also the Squarespace survey they did a year or two ago. And most Gen Zers and millennials say they care about their online presence more than they do their in-person presence. So I think that having online as an avenue is eventually going to be important for most guys. But I'll say this, just because people are doing something like a woman is going online to meet guys doesn't mean that they won't respond to the same thing they've always responded to for thousands of years. And sometimes even more so, because again, around that contrast principle, if she's getting dozens of guys hitting her up over text and they're all faceless and they're all swiping and they mean nothing to anybody anymore until you guys actually meet up. And then you're one of the first guys that can just politely but confidently talk to somebody face to face. I actually think it becomes a strength. And I'm noticing this more and more where women are like, oh my God, this doesn't really happen. This is cool. And it feels more special because it's now more scarce. If you were doing that 20 years ago and everyone's doing it, you don't really stand out. Nowadays, you stand out. You're that one guy who came up to her and talked to her and made a powerful real world connection that means something more than just text. And often a woman will prioritize that over a lot of the online dating people she's talking to. I'm working with a client who's been only doing in person, and he's been introducing himself to women in a city in a country that is notorious for being very cold and unsocial. And he's been talking to so many girls and has already had dates set up. And many of them even brought up that fact and been like, this is really interesting. We don't really do that here. And he's like, yeah, I've been noticing, I've been traveling. It's not like you guys are very open to talking to strangers. And she says, yeah, we're a little bit shy and reserved. But guess what? They were still enthusiastic about talking to him. They were still excited. Many of the conversations he sent me that were recorded were 5-10 minutes long, and a couple were up to 30 minutes long. And in most of the scenarios, the women never tried to leave and often offered their number or an invitation to hang out before he did. So yeah, I think a lot of the world is currently using online, but it doesn't mean that women won't respond to a human coming up to them and being strong and present in the moment like we've had since the dawn of time. So don't get in your head about it's over, we can never talk to people in person anymore. I think if you're one of the few guys who do it, you'll have a major advantage.